Well, Officer Michael Brown says he thought he was doing the right thing when he reported Corporal Daryl Warmoth for use of force violations. But Brown says he wasn't prepared for what came next, an investigation that yielded a trove of text messages Warmoth exchanged with fellow officers that were not only racist in nature, but exposed what some county officials say was a call to abandon Brown and others in the line of duty. Brown says even worse, his own department hasn't done enough to support and protect whistleblowers like him.
Guardian, we got him in sight running down Davis Avenue.
This Prince George's County Police chopper video shows officers responding to a call for help in October 2020.
We go to assist an officer who goes over the radio channel and says, I have one running.
Second officer approaching.
Corporal Michael Brown said that's his partner, Thomas Lester, stopping a person matching the description of an armed suspect.
He's pretty compliant, get him in handcuffs, walking him back to the car. Then the officer walks up.
By officer, he means Corporal Daryl Warmoth. This police helicopter video shows the beginning of what Warmoth did next.
He chokes him. It starts with a throat jab, open-handed throat jab to the neck, and he grabs him around the neck and pulls him away from another officer.
Brown says the teenager, then 17-year-old Kayvon Hines, cried out.
Y'all gonna let him do that to me? And at that point, it kind of grabbed at my heart.
Turns out Kayvon wasn't the suspect, but what Warmoth did.
I think everyone on scene was shocked that witnessed it.
Everyone may have been shocked, but only Brown and Lester reported Warmoth for use of force violations, according to court documents.
We're trained not to put any kind of hands on anyone's neck.
Warmoth was eventually charged in a criminal investigation and convicted of second-degree assault and misconduct. But it was something investigators found on Warmoth's cell phone during the case that led to new concern.
There were several text messages that were very disturbing.
Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy says subpoenaed texts between Warmoth and other current and former Prince George's officers revealed racist comments, some made public in his trial, like this text from Warmoth, where he and fellow officer Anthony Brook discuss an investigation involving black Prince George's County officers. Warmoth called them effing animals and said, black people in a white man's job. Brook replies, yep. Or this one, where Warmoth texts a different officer, God forbid we make a black person look bad or expose them here for what they are.
I was very concerned that knowing that there were racist individuals in our department, that we were putting our citizens at risk.
So concerned, Braveboy sent this letter in May of 2021 to the county executive and police department, telling them she will no longer sponsor these officers as witnesses, saying they're no longer credible. The text also made clear how Warmoth and some others felt about Brown and his partner Lester, calling the officers snitches and other derogatory terms. Then in February of 2021, a different officer who the I-Team confirmed is no longer with the force asked Warmoth for the ID numbers for the officers he said snitched. Court records show the county accused some of the texting officers of conspiring to not back up Brown's squad. Officers call that a code red.
What is a code red?
Essentially, you're saying they're on their own. You're leaving someone vulnerable.
Despite court records showing the department did pursue action against the officers, Brown says no one told him about the possible threat to his safety. He learned about that through department gossip. Brown said he went to his executive command in April of 2021 requesting a transfer and was offered desk duty alongside some of the same officers who had sent the concerning text.
I just felt betrayed.
He declined and said he wasn't moved off patrol for 7 more months.
My safety I don't feel like it was being regarded as a priority.
Warmoth's attorney declined comment, as did Brook's attorney, but court records show Brook sued the department for trying to fire him as a result of the messages and won in a lower court, with the judge ruling his personal texts were protected by his First Amendment rights. He's still working at the police department as the county appeals that decision. Police Chief Malik Aziz wasn't yet with the force during Warmoth's choking incident, but he was there for his trial. In this internal email that he sent to officers after Warmoth's conviction, Aziz wrote, "It is so important for all of us to remember that new legislation and laws are changing the way we police, and the magnifying glass that we are under as police officers is 24/7. He goes on to say that his support for his officers is unwavering, but he does not specifically mention his support for the whistleblowers in the case, or whistleblowers at all. The I-Team requested an interview with the Z's, but the department declined and sent us this statement. Since I took over the department, we have made it clear that we do not tolerate racism within the department or officers who abuse the trust of the community, and we have consistently worked to hold officers accountable. The chief also said once the department became aware of alleged threats and retaliation, those threats were immediately investigated and several officers linked to the allegations were suspended. Meanwhile, Brown was still out on patrol.
Unless you protect the protectors, you're not going far enough.
Attorney Don Quinn represented Brown for the purposes of this interview.
Officer Brown is out there every day putting his life on the line for the citizens of PG County. And if he can be treated like this, you as a citizen of PG County can also be treated like this. In fact, you are even more at risk because you don't even have a uniform on.
Brown's partner, who declined an interview with News 4, has left the department. Brown says he doesn't know what his future on the force will be.
Do you regret turning in that officer?
Not at all. Not at all.
Now, we pressed Prince George's police for weeks for an interview, and it was only just before this story was set to air that they sent us statements about how they responded to all of this. They say their chain of command did speak with Brown and pledged its support. Brown agrees that some higher-ups did support him, but says what executive command did not do is alert him to the danger, tell him what was in those texts or what it meant for his safety. Brown says that even now he's working alongside an officer who participated in some of those derogatory exchanges that you heard there.